Hi, it's Paul from Hurricane Forex. Got another update. So the software's always been looked at, obviously. So I'm going to take you through how to trade with this software, and hopefully this will be pretty useful. So let's start off by looking at a chart. So we're looking at dollar CAD at the moment. Markets aren't open, so unfortunately I can't show you any alerts. But basically, when one of these green arrows or red arrows appears, you'll get an alert, and if you set it up, you can get a notification to your phone or to email. And what this basically shows us, so I'm going to take you through what to do when you get an alert. Okay, first thing you do is ignore it, or you could actually check the chart. If you get a lot of signals together, that means just look at the currencies that it's talking about, and you'll see a pattern. So if you see a lot of sterling currencies, for instance on Friday we had a big fall in sterling, and so we got a lot of sterling sells, so you can take your pick about which one you want to trade, but you know you'll be selling sterling, and there's a fair chance that it's going to go very well for you. In fact, it did on Friday for me on 2 Gbp Usd and sterling dollar I had on Friday. But let's take you through this chart. So this is a dollar CAD chart. Now, which way is it going? First thing we're going to look at is this gold line. There's a bit of blue there, and that shows you the direction of the market in a longer term. Down here we've got, you can see this yellow steps. That shows you also we're in a bullish market. Okay, and that is the daily. This is daily. So you'll see that these don't change over a day. And then we've got this 200 period Heikin-Ashi moving average line, which is something I've built. And then we've got a 100 period Heikin-Ashi moving average line just here. And you'll see how the market bounces off these levels. Now when you get a buy signal, my normal target is, there's the first one, there's the second one. So what I normally do is I place a trade with that as the target. Okay, the second one as the target, and my trailing stop will be the distance between there and there. Okay, however, if it's a bit small, I normally like to set a 30 pip minimum trailing stop. Okay, just to keep me going. That would be quite a small target, so you need to include the fib levels you're in. Now, so if I did a buy on that one, for obviously but pretty much went straight up in the air over time. If I traded it for a couple of days, and then you'd have taken profit there. Okay, and because it's in a big uptrend, you can see how the market's just moving upwards. Alright, you just take that. So you wouldn't take this trade because, no, you don't take that trade because it's in an uptrend. Don't trade against the trend. The trend is your friend. Okay, so when you see one of these arrows with a gold bar underneath it, or a gold box, that's the change of a miniature, of a short-term trend. So here we had a break from a long-term trend, and then it went really flat and congested. So another reason not to take that. We know it's going to get congested because it's in a big uptrend. So unless it crosses across this gulf here, alright, it's going to stay in the trend that it's in. So here's our buy entry for the next one, and there's our target. So you see it's quite a straightforward pair of trades. So again, there's a buy entry here, didn't make it to the second target because it pulled back. This is because in news, it's purely news causing that, fundamentals causing that. Sometimes I get out before serious news. I like to get out of my trades. So then there's another buy here. It's not rocket science now, because you can see you've got 4 buys. There's the first one, there's the first target being the next fib level, and then it was the end of the week, so that was the end of that. So I'm going to take you through, that's a pretty straightforward uptrend. Now I'm going to show you what happens when it changes trends, and this is a straightforward downtrend again. So let's look at, so this is a flat market, and you can see how the market stays pretty much hanging around these fib levels. Alright, so we wouldn't take any trades in this market. You wouldn't take any trades, and you might go, oh yeah, but what about, you know, this? So if you get an alert on that, okay, you wouldn't take that probably because it's in a flat market. So you'd wait, and you'd see when you saw that candle. Alright, although there's lots of breaks here, so there's a break here that just goes straight to the first target. So you might want to not enter this trade. This is actually GBP CAD. I didn't go into this because it wasn't in a trend. So up here you can see some very important information. So let's say the first thing we're going to do, we get a signal. We're going to look at what type of signal it is. Is it up with other signals? Have we got like sterling dollar, sterling Aussie, sterling yen all together? And if we have, we know we're going to be selling sterling, but we wouldn't be doing it in this market because it's not flat. Now this is Dow Jones. Dollar yen again had a big rebound, but you see what happened here is there's a kind of uptrend going on, but it's not a very strong one. In fact, the reason it's not strong is very simple. You can see that the white line is flat and the gold line is patterned with blue and gold, which means that it's going into sells and buys. Okay, but we're in a long-term buy trend. It is in actually a buy trend. It kept buying, pulling back, buying, pulling back, but it's very slow until this thing, where we hit some news, and then it just went absolutely hell to leather down. And so this market is again very difficult to trade. You're just taking buys all the time, but it's quite flat, and so you see a weak bearish market because although it pulled down very fast, it's pulled back up again. So again, not a market to trade for me. So this is GBP USD, and here's my trade from Friday. Actually, it was from Thursday. I put this trade on because why? Firstly, I'm in a downtrend. Okay, so you can see I'm not going to trade because the blue line that's below that. You can see the market flowing in a downtrend. I took this trade, woke up Friday morning, got to about 11 o'clock, and all of a sudden it just absolutely fell through the floor. So I was actually in this trade for a couple of days, which is it completely hit its target without any trouble at all, which is absolutely brilliant. So what I want to show you is a changing direction, a market changing direction. So I'm going to try and find one. In fact, I can find one here. So let's just do this. Oh, sorry, zoom out. So in this case, you can see something going on, and I want to point out here, I know it's really complicated and really zoomed out. So each of these is a week. So you can see we've got we're working on weekly fib levels basically. And so here we had an uptrend. So there's the first, but we get a confirmed buy on that one. There's the second buy, and then rallied up, it pulled back, there's the third buy. And you'll see how it was in a downtrend. This white line crossed over, the market crossed over, okay? And at that point, when the market crosses over that bullish move, we're in an uptrend. Okay, so now look what happens here. It goes up, it goes up, it goes up. Then we had some news. The market crossed over these two lines, and now it's moved back into a downtrend. And you'll see the way the market, then you can see the way these lines pull away from each other, and then they confirm the downtrend. Here's the first trade on the downtrend, second trade on the downtrend, third trade on the downtrend, fourth trade on the downtrend, and then we're out, okay? But what's our target? So our target from the first trade would have been here, take profit. Target from the second trade is actually that's 1, 2, because you include the fib level you're on. That's that trade pulled back and probably stopped you out. Target on the third trade is still there, okay? And you hit this price, so your trailing stop's going to be this distance. This one actually you could have avoided by saying actually I wouldn't take this because it's a big powerful move down, and then you will always pull back halfway. You see that it pulls back halfway. Okay, so it pulls back halfway, and then we go into our proper downtrend. So here's the first trade, there's the second trade. Do we achieve target on both? Yes. Okay, so I mean obviously you are going to lose just as you're going to win. So there's another trade here. It actually only makes it to there before there's a buy signal. If you get a reversal signal, close your trade because it's going back the other way for a bit. There's a second buy signal there. However, you wouldn't take either of those, and the reason being still in a downtrend. Okay. However, you watch for that crossing over there. Now, normally when that happens, of course, the market does this. You see how these two lines pull together. So you can see pretty much when things are happening. So there's a new downtrend, second downtrend, third downtrend, Thursday evening, signal in a sell, and bam, it went. Okay, that was my GBP USD trade. Same sort of thing going on here. Here's you can see congestion going on. Quite simply, you can see the way that the market stays between this fib level. It doesn't go anywhere. It doesn't know where it's going, and you can see also that the white line and the gold line pretty much go parallel all the way through there. And you'll see up here it will say market flat. Now you see it says market weak bullish at the moment, and you might say, but that's a strong bullish. No, it's actually not. That's actually what it looks like. Okay, it's not a strong bullish market. It's actually not as powerful as it looks. And in fact, if we measure, this is the dollar index. Okay, if we measure the distance of these fib levels, you see there's like 80 pips. It's a small fib level, so it hasn't really established a very powerful trend. It's there, but it's not as powerful as anything. Whereas look at this one. This is euro dollar, again suffering from the same fate as the pound in terms of dropping. So there's our first entry. You see, you've got a buy entry there, you've got a confirmation there, but our actual fib level, I'm not a great fan of the euro dollar or euro Swiss sterling. I don't trade either. But look, there's like 60 pips, 120 pips on those fib levels. And look at the ATR as 29.76 pips for an hourly ATR. Tells me that it's not going to be a great mover, but it's worth taking. So there's a sell there, and you can see we clearly, instead of this where both lines are kind of hanging together and not moving out, we get this breakout where the market starts pulling away. So I probably wouldn't have risked anything on the sell here. I'm more interested in this one where it clearly breaks bearish. Then you've got a proper bearish trend going on. You can't really trade in these flat markets. So again, just looking at this, look at the way it kind of rallies up because of news. This is definitely news. Rallies up, turns around. In fact, that is a wet Thursday. Yeah, it rallies up. This is Aussie Swiss. Turns around and just comes back down the other way. You notice there's no trades there yet. That's because we want to get a confirmed trend. So you'll see eventually. Now sometimes what will happen is it'll pull back to here and then turn back up that way. But guess what? We hit Friday, so we don't really know what it's doing because it actually just went completely static. So there's a fair chance it will just pull back up if it's going into an uptrend, which it probably isn't. But you'll see the way that, see this blue line starts getting gold bits in it. That's a sign that we might be changing direction or pausing. The market's pausing. You see how the lines are getting closer together, and then all of a sudden we've got this sell break, and you can see how it breaks down, and you'll get signals that say break in them, in which case you need to go and look at them and just to see if they are actually breaks, because then sometimes 10 minutes later it just pulls back up. This is a horrendous market to trade because you've got a sell signal there and your stop's up here, so you'd have actually got to the first fib level and it just turned around and came back again. Alright, you might go, well, then why is there no signal? It's just because of the way the maths is calculated. It's not really counted as a proper bearish trend. However, here we might have a bearish trend. This will pull back to here 50%. Okay, and then what will happen is we'll get our sell signal and we can go into it and go, yeah, because we've actually, you can see how it's established actually a bearish trend has been in play for a while. It just hasn't broken out, and you see how these two hatched lines are very important, because these two areas, especially this green hatched area here, is a place where oftentimes the market will just statically sit, will just sit there. So let me just flip to another chart. You see how it does it here, sits there absolutely flat, and we've had a bit of flatness. Flatness is very hard to trade. Nice bearish trend going on there. You see how this line goes square, it goes straight, and then suddenly bam, we got a breakout, and your stops there, and it pulls back, and there's a second sell signal. If you get a second sell signal like that, it's a good time to take it. We go short, then we get some congestion there, and we start getting sell signals again. You see that? That's another sell signal. Then we have some news which comes back up. Then there's our third sell signal, and I hope you're not trading in news. I don't trade in news. You can if you want. Not my scene, thanks. So let's just go through it again. So you get a signal. Check this. Okay, what is the market doing? Okay, second thing to check is you can check the long-term trends if you want. So that shows you that a bullish market, strong bullish, those are bullish, even though ignore the higher speed ones because sometimes they're quite noisy. So there's some nice buy entries here. This actually, again, what happens is when you load your charts, it doesn't show things in the actual way that they look. So you might go, oh, there's a buy and then a sell. That's news. I can guarantee you that's news. This is dollar Swiss. That's news. And you look how flat it is. So we just stay out of it anyway until we got something like this where we get a full scale. So we get you would get that alert during that candle, and the moment it kind of goes, I'm in probably here. The moment I see it breaking through the past high, plus I've got this going on. So you see that the day before the big break, okay, the market switched. It switched from a selling market to a buying market, and I'm really interested in that. So now I'm looking for buys. Here's a buy here, okay, and you see this craziness because of the news. But then we've got this buy during the Thursday, again caused by news, of the dollar just flying up against the Swiss. And then there's my entry because I can see it breaking above, and there's my target is here, and off it goes up and collects it. Okay, so yeah, that's basically it. I mean, this is quite clearly a bear flag, so a bull flag, sorry. So you can see the market progresses like this, which actually meets a few it kind of makes it's almost moving into a bearish trend, but it's not. Okay, and you can tell by that these lines do not meet. Okay, when they've crossed, I'm interested in taking sells on it. I'm not interested in taking sells on it until I get a proper trend indication. And good thing I didn't, because okay, so there's a buy trend here, buy, but you see how it gets flat. That line's flat, and you see how the market. So you could take sells in it, but it's not really in a sell trend yet. It needs to break across those lines, and there it does. And it does actually make it to nearly the end of this congestion zone, but it just, because of news, this is all news, this lot here is all news. Okay, see, and it's Euro GBP, which I never trade because of that very fact. So I want clear trends. Here's a sell for this sell, nice sell entry. The market's clearly crossed down, so it was actually in a coming into a buy. There was some news here, yeah. So the news rallied the market across the thing. There's no signals, and then the next thing we do is we get a sell signal. That's really interesting. So we take the sell there because the market's crossed across here, all right, but this has remained static. So it's actually, they've come together, and when that happens, then we look at where it's going afterwards. There's my sell. I might not get that one. I get this one, and that's the first target. And then there's no new sell signals, so it's just plummets down. Then we get this enormous buy straight across the boundaries of that. So are we going into an uptrend? No, because it just falls straight back down again. So it's a bit of a messy trade, this one, Euro Swiss. So they were both fighting each other for priority. So we've got this big W forming, and I can tell you now, I think it's going to hit 61.8% and then go straight back up again. Don't count me on that, just watch the signals. Simple like that. So again, congestion, stay out of it. Breaks, there's a break there. You could take that break quite happily. There's your target. Second one. There's your first target. There's your second target. Okay, but there's a buy. There's a nasty buy before it, so it's a bit of a mess. But it's all news driven. So generally with news, my rule is wait till the news comes out. So I'm flat, kill all my trades, wait till the news come out, and then I'm looking for signals on the news. When the news come out, probably a few minutes afterwards, you start getting a signal. You pick up on that signal and you go for it. Nice uptrend on here. See, look, big. So it's in an uptrend. However, here I'm not interested in trading that right now because the white line's gone flat. Everything's gone flat. You see how this yellow line is now bouncing up and down between here, even though this is pulling up, and you can see how it goes from having long stretches of gold. Yeah, it goes from long stretches of gold to blue and gold, which is an indication of a change of direction in market or a powerful move. But I need to see a powerful move. I'm not trading that pair. And again, actually, this is just one that's just gone into a reversal. Okay, so here was the buy. It was flat. Then there was a buy trend. Okay, and see what happens when the market starts pulling together like that. Those lines start going together. It's going into a sell trend, and here's the sell trend starting just there. So you might go, it started there. Okay, didn't really, because we went sell, buy, sell, and I was actually expecting a buy here, but it didn't happen. We got this break below here. So it happened on that candle, so I would have actually been interested in a trade in that because it's clearly broken a level, and also these, look how they're joining together, and so they will cross, and then this will happen. Okay, and so you can see by looking at the charts and evaluating the charts, this indicator will tell you what to do. Literally, it will tell you to look. You look at that one and you go, is that a valid sell? Yes. Put my stop in. Take profit here. I'm there. Is that a valid sell? Yes. There's my take profit. Is that a valid sell? Yes. There's my take profit. Didn't actually get to it. You should always put it slightly above anyway. But you got a buy signal, so you get out of it. So you could have had 3 trades out of that. There's another sell there as well. So it's about evaluating the charts and going, okay, is this a flat market like here? Is it changing direction? That looks like it's changing direction, but it doesn't really make it. Okay, it's still bearish at that point, even though it's changed direction. Look at the yellow, the golden above it. The daily is moving down still, and it goes flat because of this buy-ins here, so it's not really sure what it's doing. And there's a flatness here as well. However, it is technically still bearish, and it doesn't manage to turn it into a bullish trend because these lines don't cross. So looking at it, that didn't happen. Okay, so because that didn't happen, it just pulled back down into a bearish trend. I'm only taking sales on this, but I'm aware that it's quite flat. Okay, New Zealand CAD, and it was quite flat until there, and now it's starting to get a proper trend. So you see I've got flatness here. You see how there's a gold line there where it's in a downtrend. Flatness here. There's a gold line but it's in a downtrend. It's quite flat actually, but you know, obviously your trading decisions based on what you do. Dollar CAD, I'll trade all day. It's really simple. New Zealand yen, again, I've been trading this for weeks, literally shorting it all the time, you know, looking for my short signals, take a short, take a short, take a short, take a short. Just, you know, it's really simple. So there's the first target, second target, first target, second target, first target, second target, first target, second target, first target again, second target, first target, second target. Okay, it actually goes crazy down, but most of the time it doesn't do that. It's news. So I hope that's helpful. You can get this hurricaneforex.com. It costs $30 a month, or you can buy it one-off time, price for $800 from the MetaQuest market. Excuse me. hurricaneforex.com. Thanks very much, and don't forget to join our Discord because we've got lots of little utilities and things and freebies, and it's nice to meet other people that are using it. Okay, thanks very much.